I think, very forceful points you made of how you're making sure India becomes a destination for our own people. Thank you. The last speaker for today is Professor Partha Chatterjee from Shivnada University again. Partha, 5 minutes, no more than that. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll definitely try to finish within 5 minutes. The disadvantage of being the last speaker, particularly in a panel that could easily make a cricket team, is most of the things are already said. But the advantage of it is listening to others, several thoughts come to your mind. Your mind wanders. Today, there's been several references to Nalanda, and that reminded me of my first visit to Nalanda. I was probably 11 years or 12 years old. And as I clearly remember, a guide took us around and showed, oh, these were the hostels for people who would come from around the world. It amazed me. I was growing up in a town not too far from there, in Asansol in West Bengal, all very far from the coasts. So never ever have I really given even a thought of how would it be to live along with people from around the world. Now coming to today, when I think back and think about, oh, what is it about Nalanda that attracted people from China, from Central Asia, from Indonesia to this place? I think one thing that really, really stands out is excellence. And I think today we have talked a lot about only student exchanges, student mobility, and things like that, right? But even for that, if we cannot achieve excellence, we will not achieve what we want to. But it's not only about student mobility, it's not only about getting students to come to India. It's about how can we build up partnerships, as our Vice Chancellor, Professor Ghosh, has already alluded to, partnerships where we can build up something substantial, something more than just transactional in nature. And that is, I think, one of the key things that we have to look at into thinking about internationalization today. We have to be in equal footings, and again, we are, as Professor Ghosh again mentioned, we are 8 years old, so it's probably too big words, but we have to be equal out there. And as Mr. Das at the very beginning said, that it has to be part of your own core strategy, and that has been the case with Shivnada University from the very beginning. We have an explicit aim to be among the best in the world, and we know that we cannot do that without having international partnerships and international relations. Much of it is in India as well as across the world has often been personal, among researchers and among scholars and so on and so forth. But if we now think about really big global problems, be it environmental problems, be it mobility of a different kind, right, transportation system problem, can we now build up coalitions across the world so that we can think about it in a much more cohesive way and bring out solutions that will endure? And these kind of global alliances will ensure that we are going to be among the best. So, it's a kind of a symbiotic relation that has to be built. And that's, I think, one of the things that we would be looking forward to and building upon. Given that we are really running out of time, I'll stop here today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We appreciate Dr. Chatterjee. I'm sorry we don't have much time for any questions and answers. I'm sure you've heard 11 of us, I believe, who spoke. So I'm sure there are lots of good pointers for all of you to think about internationalization. With that, I'll thank all our audience one more time for being so patient, and my panel for also being patient with me. I apologize for being a little strict on the time, but I think we got good inputs to all our participants today. So thank you very much. We now break for lunch. No?
we come to the end of this session, but we will have the next session on privatization, the role of private institutions in higher education in India. The speakers have been kind enough to wait, and we would request them to come on the dais immediately after this gets over. Give us 2 minutes for switchover, and then we'll invite you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I think I'll come to ISB.
I think we're talking about the same thing.
Same thing. And I'm actually we are, we are